right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for Saturday, 11/24/2018. I'm Michael, your host. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, take a look in the description box, and take a look in the comment section. Leave a comment, but other than leaving a comment, take a look in the comment section. All right, we got Ben with us here today in the beaming in. So, hey, Ben, how you doing?
Awesome. Good to be in beaming in the studio. Lots have been happening. We've been rock and rolling back on our other channel, our backup channel, and want to give a little something out to the Patriot Hour, something out to the people. So,
all right. And those of you new, we always forget to do this. We take it for granted. But me and Ben met years ago, back in like late 07, early 08. Taking, computer security courses, going through the Cisco certification, Linux security, and a multitude of other, technical courses. But, so our friendship started many, many years ago. Research has been almost from the get-go. We had a lot of common interest in the country, and we both served. We're both veterans, so... Anyway, on a side note, you were talking about the other channel. So we have the Patriot Hour Tech. That is our backup channel to the Patriot Hour. I started it, 5 months ago, I believe, in July, as just a channel for all the background stuff of the Patriot Hour. Me and Ben had talked about all the test videos we had, getting the equipment, and then is like, what we're doing right now. That can be a discussion for that channel, I thought, how to set up the beam in, how I got the Patriot Hour above.
How to do live,
how to get the
broadcasting,
Yeah. So for those interested, and I had noticed it wasn't like any other channel, you have to put a lot of work into it, but it was just a hobby thing, and I didn't put a lot of effort. But you know what? It has a live stream, so we're using it. I've been saying that the Patriot Hours looks like it's back up after further investigation and coming to a conclusion just this morning. It looks like it's not up, and we received a global block of something from another country, which can take down your channel for up to 90 days. So I think that's what we're under. So I think we're only like a month into that, unfortunately. So we're looking at sometime in January for the Patriot Hours live to come back. So we're going to keep using the Patriot Tech, and that's going to happen tonight, actually. So we're putting this video out in the description box down below. The very first thing will be a link just to the Patriot Tech. It's not going to be to any video, but it's going to get you to the front kind of homepage, and you can subscribe from there. All right. And then later tonight, right before our live, we're going to put out a warning shot video to the Patriot Hour. It'll be a minute long with a correct link to that actual live stream in the description box. I know the last one, lots of people that I messed up, I admit, in the panic of doing everything, I just got the wrong link. So,
hey, can't be perfect all the time. We're trying the best we can do over here to get you guys the truth. And again, Mike and I always enjoy the live show that gives us some more interaction with you guys. And of course, we always love putting out these videos and actually getting to update what's going on and kind of what we talk about in Garage Talk and these kind of things, always getting out to you guys. So by no means are we trying to push for another channel or anything like that nature. It's a platform that allows us to do live shows, and we enjoy that. So until we get the, the functionality back to the Patriot Hour, we're going to keep on rocking and rolling on both channels. So,
yeah. And the only reason we're actually even pitching it, if there's a way, it gets a little confusing to keep putting out a warning shot video. We know not everybody's interested in the live, but we want to give everyone an opportunity. So subscribing to another channel doesn't do much harm to anyone. It doesn't take up any more memory off your phone or any of these things. It's just another, it'd be another alert. And the only alert you're going to get from that, if you do toggle the switch, is a live video is coming, because that's all we're going to do over there, folks. Is a live, because we don't have it over here. Now, the minute it comes back here, we'll probably keep beaming out to both. So
Yeah, that's too easy. We've talked about that as well, and so why not? But so getting all that out there, I mean, what do you think about what's happening? I don't know, currently right now. It's Saturday. Everybody's kind of coming off of the family thing and the holiday festivities. Um,
yeah, let's see here. What are some top stories?
and then we got a couple of weeks coming before they I know the old Hoover makes his testimony. Um,
So this,
so
what about this? This lady that won up in New York. What's her name? Osco Ocosa
Coso
Cortez.
Cortez.
Green New Deal.
Hmm.
Now I've been reading articles. She's really young. I think the youngest, 29 or something.
Something of that nature, yeah.
And she doesn't know that the three parts of government, all these things she's messed up saying. She doesn't really understand any of it. She just kind of got the people to vote for her somehow.
She got I believe, in my personal opinion, she got the young minority vote, and that's what she ran off of. And a lot of her rhetoric was almost right from the classic Marxist social. Everybody needs to be equal. So I think that's my personal opinion. I think that's what she ran off of, the platform she used. But um, it says central to her proposal is the goal of working towards using nothing, or what was it saying there?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, using nothing renewable energy for electricity generation. So she's pushing the green thing, solar mass, white coal, wild coal, natural gas, nuclear, this and that. So we've seen the green movement before. Um,
Now I'm not
it's not
poking
really a new
fun.
bandwagon. No, of course not.
Some of the articles,
Just
well, they're saying like she had made the comment she can't move to DC yet until her pay kicks in. She didn't have enough money. So everything was riding on, like they have been scraping by or whatever she said. I think she was like a waitress or something before she got involved or whatever she was doing. I don't quote me on all that. I read several articles at this point, and who knows what's truth, but
well, a
they're
lot of
painting
the
her out
interviews that
to.
she's gave is just, yeah, some of her remarks and her answers are definitely not very.
I know my buddy that I have that I
Yeah.
served with lives in New York. I have actually two that I kind of got them on the social media sites, so I know where they're living after the service. They migrated back kind of to where they were from originally, and they're not happy, and it's like I texted my buddy. I was like, wow, you guys kind of got voted in this way and that way up there. And he's like, yeah, the cancer or the city's a cancer to the rest of the state. There's just more people in New York, than in the whole state. So therefore they kind of get dictated upon. And people in the city live a lot different than,
People in upstate,
upstate
New
New
York or
York,
southern.
or
Yeah, I mean, there's.
southern. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So
So,
it's interesting to see. I mean, hey, we got to respect the votes. So she raced and she got the votes, and so she's in. So we're definitely going to hear um, either two things: one, what she personally believes, or those around her that got her elected believe. And that's one of two things I would say. So if she starts trying to get in there and push, her agenda or any agenda without being properly versed on the information at hand, you're not going to look too credible. I've seen a couple of interviews that she's given, and it's kind of hard to follow along when they're not really based on either constitutionality, more on emotional, and that's
yeah.
something that we always try to steer clear or be very aware of the bias. Um, we've said it many times. We are a state. We're a country where we do have immigration. Every one of us in some part of our lineage, our great grandfathers, great, somebody came here to make a better life, but they want to come here because of America, the opportunity.
Yeah.
To work hard and make your mark in the world, and this is not the agenda what we have people coming here today. they're trying to come here for personally, I think it's just benefits. It's
Well,
easier life, and
there's tons of different people like to do all kind. You know, you got immigration, legal immigration, illegal immigration. We got you know, migrant workers. There's all kinds of different reasons, and you know, I always like to go back to They Come to America, David Michael Lynch. You know, his documentary videos, 3 of them. They're called They Come to America, and he follows one around. He has one living with him, and then during his documentary, he gets with a federal agent that breaks down, you know, the rules and the federal laws, and actually harboring an illegal is, you know, federal offense. He ends up having to make the guy move out, and he's like, I didn't know I was breaking the law. But he got close to this guy. His family was like a Mexican, you know, illegal, and his wife and kid, and but he talked to lots of them. They are good people, the ones you know, they're working, but he would ask, like, do you love it here, or do you love your country? Oh no, I love where I come from. And they all say this. They all love where they come from. Why wouldn't they?
okay.
He talks
Yeah,
about
of
if you
course.
you know, what if you won the lottery, 50,000 tonight? What would you do with that? What if you came across a large chunk of money, 50,000? What would you build a house here and get better off? He said, oh no, I would, you know, all of them would. I'd go back home. They'd be perfect for them to get that amount of money and get back home. And so it's just you know, it's just the same things. They don't have much love for a country that they're not from, or any kind of traditions. It's all about earning, sending the money back home, making enough to get back home and live good there. That's what they want. That's what they desire. So what do you know? I don't know.
How do you, you know, how do you say, you know, taking that and going back to, you know, that being, isn't that being proud of your country and where you're coming from? And are you, you know, is that, you know, is that nationalism because you're proud of that? America is a land of opportunity. And I think it's only because those of us who, you know, who either were born here and have, you know, this is just our country of origin, this is where we were born, or those of you has come here and actually had a citizenship, stayed here, tried to build the American dream. I mean, there's so many success stories of people coming from
Well,
other countries and say, yeah, they had it poor, but when they come here,
and I put it like this, you know, it's like not everything was done right in the beginning, right? We had to have, like, you know, we had a certain group of people suppressed and women suppressed, and we have now gotten to points. I mean, I don't know, do you agree with those changes or not? Those could be personal things to people, but it's like, and I don't know if before the laws were changed that people kept, you know, women kept voting. I thought they just couldn't vote. That was a common thing around the country. Black people, they couldn't vote. So these laws came, but were those people voting before the law came and changed it to let them vote? I don't know how it works. So if people support a borderless, anyone can come, then there's all these other things. So at that point, you're giving up sovereignty. We don't want sovereignty. You must be for that. So you, and then what about this whole taxation thing? You can't tax a non-sovereign thing and have these social programs because you can't have people coming in that can partake that didn't give. And if you're for that, then you're even crazier. So there's all these little things that have to happen to even make me think logically that it could be a possibility, but then that would change so many things, and I might not agree with it, but if enough people did and it got voted in, that's how amendments happen. But that's a huge legal process. You got to get paper out,
yeah,
pencils out, signatures, do it the right way. You know, you don't just come up with an idea and slam it into the culture, like, you know, robbing, you know, stores is illegal, stealing food off shelves at a store in your coat pocket is illegal, but if enough of us keep doing it, eventually they'll just let us do it. And, you know, a few of us will go to jail over it, but eventually a movement will. I don't know, but, you know, it doesn't make quite sense. You have to.
you know, and you can't. We've tried doing the mob mentality before. Rule of the mob, a rule of the emotion at that moment in time without due course or due process. And so we know what that's like. And without having due process, how do you have a panel of your peers? You know, doesn't your peers got to kind of live here or have some type of citizenship? Or, I mean, you know, people do come to America for a multitude of reasons. And yes, I would say 9 times out of 10, it's because they're trying to better themselves. Now, could that be in the evil faction because they're coming over here to sell more drugs because it's more money, just more that they're trying to better themselves selling drugs? Or are they trying to come here to work a job, send the money back home, support their family because they couldn't get over? I mean, there's multiple reasons why, but you think to yourself, as prior military individuals, how many people did we know, or did you have, like, in military, that were not American citizens and joined the
Well,
military because it was a quicker route for citizenship?
well, like you said though, you just gave a bunch of reasons off of why they crossed the border, and that's a whole nother conversation. So when you argue with a fellow citizen about the law, because the law is the law, and then they want to sit there and, well, they're just hungry, those are all reasons, excuses.
Yeah.
If you just keep it about the law, then there's like no emotion. They try to break you down to tell you why they're breaking the law with emotional badger, and it's just like, I know why they're doing it, and if I look at it that way, I feel it too, like, but you're not supposed to. The law is the law. Change the law. Lobby for that law to
you
be
could say the
changed.
same thing of, I emotionally want the wall to be up and higher and bigger and more dangerous because I emotionally want that to happen.
Yeah.
Well, just because I feel that doesn't, you're right. We got to change what the law is. And if the law is wrong or it needs to be amended or corrected, and we've said that many times. So with what it is in the books and what we have, I think there's a lot of law that's never really been enacted, and some of it that has been enacted is now coming to fruition.
And it seems real harsh because it's been so lax.
This is new to us because we haven't ever dealt with this before. I mean,
yeah, we got 20-year-olds right now in this country, 20, probably up to 25 that have like been born under war. A lot of people don't get that either. Like, days after September 11th, folks, this country went into which, we know the Patriot Act, the updated to the, NDAA and the military tribunals. All these things got upgraded, enacted, and we've been in a state of war since days after 9/11 in this country operating. So, you got the law of armed conflict laws, all these things. And that's why some of these people that have been in government have done very horrible things, because they've worked with foreign governments and it's been during a period of war. It's the same way a lot of us were scared, or if you're deemed to be a terrorist in this country, they can come kick your doors in, the military can, and take you, knapsack you over the head, have you bound and, zip tied behind your back and put onto a plane. And before you ever get that knapsack off your head, and you're in some foreign country, you get put into some detention center.
Interesting. This is a crazy, it's by Thought Company. On your Google, search out American involvement in wars from colonial times to present. Because when you talk about there's a culture of people being born into war, this was an interesting, basically interesting little website came across. It's called America Involvement in Wars from Colonial Times to Present. It should be thoughtco.com is the website, and it's wars from 1675 to the present day. Yes, sir.
So American involvement in wars from colonial times to the present.
If you scroll down a little bit, it gives you a little bit of a
wars from
chart.
1675 to present day. Now, this article is from August 29th of 2018, folks.
So this is just to give you the timeline. So go ahead, check this out.
Let me see here.
Now this states a war in which American colonists or the United States citizens officially participated. Major combatants. I mean, remember, we gained our independence, and
So you had King Philip's War. Let's get a little more modern here. So 1702, Queen Anne's War of the Spanish Succession.
The
That was
English
the
colonies,
English colonies
versus
in France. Yeah, King George's
And it
War,
was
1744 to 1748. War of
French
Austrian
colonies
Succession.
versus Great
Great
Britain.
Britain.
The French Indian Wars, and so we come down closer to the 1776, where you got the Cherokee War, the American Revolution.
See how that one goes?
English
1775. It started 1776.
1783.
We declared, but it didn't end until 1783.
It was completely ratified, I think it was, or completely done in 1783.
United States versus France, 1798 to 1800.
So that's only almost not even 10, 11 years later. Boom, and then France. A year later, now you have the Barbary Wars. This is us versus Morocco, Algiers, Tinnitus, and Tripoli.
1812 to 1815. We had War of 1812.
1812. That's
United States versus
Don't you read
Great
about that in
Britain.
school.
So we had 1813 to 1814. Another, that was taking place during this one. 1812
so
to
was the Barbary
1815,
Wars.
1813 to 1814. This came right in between.
And so did the Barbary Wars did as well. So you had three different wars. The Barbary Wars, 1815 is when it ended. The War of 1812 ended in 1815. And then the Crete War started within that time, which is the Crete Indians. Which
Texas
was
versus
warring for
Mexico,
land.
1836.
War of Independence. That's the come and get it. That's a musket they had on the old Texas versus. That's the old, Alamo.
Alamo, right there. 1846 to 1848, Mexican-American War.
So we gained territory, and we got finally where we have what they call the border now. Then, just
See, we went to war over this, folks. All right.
Not even 10 years later, U.S. Civil War. That's the North versus the South. And then you figure not even 10, 11 or so years after the Civil War.
And you hear people say that, like Mexicans themselves, when you're like, this is a border, and they're like, well, we used to own it. Okay, so this is all before our time. There's nobody around today that was in this, Mexican-American War. And so if they're already thinking like that because of their history books, and that's whatever, and then it's almost like and then you do look at it as an invasion, unless you're sympathetic here, and you think, well, they did used to own it. Well, then that's how it works, folks. In the history, you conquer, you take land, you design borders, you end up having your country. So either you're for this country or you're not. As harsh as that may sound, this is how it works.
That's
Don't we agree on that, or
where
what?
we're in currently. We're bringing you guys up to speed. So far, we're not even in the 20th century. We're still in the 19th century.
Do you think
right now.
when we marched to that border in 1846 to push it back, or whatever we did, that we didn't have our flags, or how did that work?
Very interesting. Well, that's the
just a
Battle of the
caravan.
Alamo. It's just a bunch of patriots coming to say, "Hey, you guys can't come back and take our land. We fought for this fair and square." And we either fought for the land,
we either
or
are
we
sympathetic
purchased the
and lay
land.
down, or you put a wall up and fight for it. What do you do here, folks?
So
In a
it's
sense
interesting. You can keep
of-
on going though, because we're talking. This has been going on. I think after the
So
Civil
after
War.
we were at what, civil?
I think yeah. Let's see. Put that back. Let's see. I'm gonna put it back up on the screen there.
Oh yeah, my bad.
For the Civil War, and after we got ourselves together, we became the United States. And then not even, a few years, 10 to 15 years after our Civil War, was the Spanish-American War. Spain, because of Mexico, had basically ties, and this is a great website that you can go there and teach why
So
it
what
happened.
this here American involvement? Not just citizens, but just American. I was going to say, because all right, so 1914 to 1918, of course,
we're talking this,
World War One,
World War One, and then
39 to 45, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, Bay of Pigs
So
invasion,
those-
Grenada.
Mhm.
Wasn't that like 1983?
Yeah.
U.S. invasion of
Invasion of
Panama in
Panama.
89, 90, 91, Gulf, 95, 96, intervention in Bosnia.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder,
So you can see there's only been a
where's that
10 to
crisis
20
in
year
Kosovo?
difference. Yeah, the Kosovo crisis. Oh yeah. So you can see between each war or each American involvement of wars ever since the colonial times, there's only a 10 to 15 to maybe 20-year
look.
difference between each major war.
Right there, 2001 to present, invasion of Afghanistan. But it's a war on terror in
The tribal regime in Afghanistan. Yeah.
So you don't really. All kinds of conflicts. But
So have we been in a state of war? I would say yes. Either it gives you two.
I thought, like, what's Congress, like what we said on the back of our cards, 1990 through present. So they're just lumping all this together, like, because that only goes 90, 91, 96. According to this, there was nothing between 91 to 95. But yet, what is it? That's just maybe American Legion standards for membership. But I thought it was an act of Congress since 91. I mean, I know there's acts of Congress put in for, like, the no-fly zone. I took part in that, and that's been in since the Gulf War ended in 91. But that's just like Operation, kind of like this stuff. It's like, I think ours is called Operation, not Desert Shield, but something. I can't remember. We had Operation Southern Watch, Northern Watch. That's all in the Persian Gulf. But
I'm looking at the American Legion eligibility. The eligibility requirements for the American Legion. I don't want auxiliary. It's not auxiliary. I want.
I say I have a membership card somewhere around here.
I know I have to remember that as well. But this is. Here we go. It's the Gulf War, August 2nd, 1990 to present. So it's a Gulf War plus the war on terrorism.
Yeah.
So they lumped the
But
Gulf
they don't
War
show that on this thing. They're not showing the war on terror thing other than in the.
Yeah, no, this is. I went to the American Legion, their main website, and just looked up quickly the eligibility for to become an American Legion member.
Yep.
And it's like, World War One, and gives the dates.
Yeah, it gives
World
you all
War
the
II,
dates, and that's what I was referring to, and I called it out. I said, it says from 1990 dash till present.
To present, yeah.
And that's
so the American Legion.
And theirs are based off periods of war, so they're going off something there to come up with, the floodgates have been opened for anyone that served for 30 years now.
Yeah, and I can see that, boom, 1990 was the Persian, that's the Persian Gulf. That's the coalition forces versus Iraq. And then from there.
Now, that actual thing on the Legion card might not be based off of any congressional look. They might have opened their floodgates. That might be the Legion in 1990. They're like, you know what? Open it up now for any service member. And that just might be their standards to join.
One, they may have lumped all of them into one category, the Gulf War / war on terrorism, because all this NATO versus Libya, we're talking the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. I mean, that's all that kind of stuff. Just
so what we're rambling on here, folks, is the there's different veterans organizations. There's VFWs, DAVs, American Legions all around the country. And you might be familiar with like Moose Lodges or the Lions Clubs. Those are very similar. Those are normally for just community people that are involved. The Legions are the same thing. They do great for community. They do a lot of stuff for veterans is what their main thing is, and they're ran by veterans. You have to have served, and they have a eligibility. The Veterans of Foreign War is a very easy one to kind of be a veteran and served in a foreign war. So documentation gets you into these clubs with your DD-214s. I'm sure you know all about them, but we were just using that as an example. And it's coming to dawn to me that we used to look at that like, so we've been in a period of war from 90 till now. I don't think that's really the case. That was just the American Legion's floodgates opening to get membership. And so, from now on, we're not going to go by war. We're just going to go by being a veteran. You can be part of our club. For the older veterans, it's still staggered with having to be, Vietnam, Grenada, one of the conflicts to get in and be an actual Legion member. But if you served after
Yeah,
1990, you're golden.
Yep. So yeah, have the American Legion. They're doing great things for the veterans. Definitely support them. But I guess bringing it back home to our original point of, we've been at war for a long time, and we battle. I think we fight for our freedoms, what we believe to be true, and so I think that's something that's it's a great little website to kind of give you an idea. Obviously, you can delve deeper into each war, each some that we've been involved with, and there's probably a lot more that this website didn't cover that leads on through. So if again, man, if we've been at war since the colonies times, and we have, that's history. What has it told you from the very beginning? Well, losing the ability to defend yourself and protect your family is the first step to giving away your rights to a tyrannical leader of any sort, to a king, to a dictator.
And it sucks. It's like what we have going on here, folks, is the biggest thing. If people from Mexico are yelling at somebody about the reason why they're crossing, and if you try to question them and they get crappy back and say, well, it used to be ours, that lets you know exactly their motive. They just told you. You don't need any more dialogue, any more anything.
Yes.
You know exactly what their motive. So, and then you got to think here, like our freedom, our sovereignty did not come free. From very day one, we wanted to get out of the rule of King George the Third or whatever. So we fought. People died to get what we have. Our country has been expanded a little bit because we went to wars again down at the southern border. So it's only the land of the free because of the brave. Exactly. All right. Now you're willing to give that up. You're just going to lie down and say, well, it's a new world. It's a new age. These are people. We're people. I get it. I'm not promoting all the bad things, but we've already gotten there. There's just no reason to give it up. It can be done simply, harmlessly, by protecting our borders. We stop the flow of deadly drugs, human trafficking. Those are the two biggest reasons. Thirdly, it keeps people out that don't come through the doors. We're talking about a big border wall with doors that are welcome. They can have welcome signs and all the great things, restrooms, soda machines. They just have to come through that door, just like at my home. I want to know who's coming in. So let's keep that in mind as we move forward. We're going to have some good talking points. We're going to save some of this stuff. I think we're going to shut this one down. We're at the 35-minute mark. This is a little red pill, Saturday morning red pill.
Get your medicine.
Yeah, get your daily dose. So again, I want to say one thing here. Down below in this video, the very first link is going to be just a link to the Patriot Tech, so you don't miss out on that live show this evening. And it's not going to be too late, folks. We're actually looking maybe, 3, 4 o'clock, whatever works. Go for about an hour, maybe a little longer. We're looking to have maybe somebody beam in, and we might just use the voice this time. So that's up to us. That's our discretion. I like this format here. I didn't mind it with L. We can do that again too. We'll figure that out after we figure out who. And if we don't really, so we might be reaching out to a few emails we've already gotten. We'll see.
Yes.
And we'll see if we get somebody to get back to us. So, anything here to close off on here this Saturday morning, Ben?
No, just the fact that enjoy yourselves, see something, say something. Be aware of your environment. That's all. I mean, you just don't know. Don't be complacent.
All
keep
right.
researching and keep getting the dots connected.
Perfect. All right. There was Ben. Great to have him with us this Saturday morning. It worked out. Signals are good. Comms are up. All right. So we're going to kick this off this Saturday evening, maybe late afternoon here, folks. We're going to do a live feed. We're going to possibly have somebody call in. If you're maybe running a channel, starting one up, like L, that'd be awesome. It doesn't matter though. If not, if you're just watcher of this channel and others, you're part of the truth movement, we'd love to have you and get some, even if it's just 5-10 minutes. We don't have to go real long. We're not trying to, make it uncomfortable for anybody. We just want to talk to the people. You guys, we love you. You guys have been with us since the beginning. This has been a great journey for all of us. Truth, researching, paying attention to our own government. Is there anything wrong with that? Keeping an eye on your own government. That's actually our job. That's actually what we're all supposed to do. It's supposed to be something that starts at infancy and works its way all the way up. And then you wouldn't have these issues of not knowing. There's like this new senator or, whoever won out of New York for them. You don't know anything. It's your own fault. Nobody's going to spoon feed you this stuff to the level of, paying attention and being able to see the lies. All right. So we need all eyes on all lies, because we know that we realize that they realize all lies. So, all right. I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you worldwide. Remember this evening. So check the description box. Get over to the Patriot Tech. Get subscribed. Hit the bell. That way the alert comes through. Other than that, we're going to be putting on a warning shot video that will have the correct link directly to the live stream. That way you can get there. We're going to try a successful run tonight and see how many we can't get involved, because we miss all of you guys being down below and having a real good chat. It's what it's all about. So we're trying to keep that going for you, for those of you that enjoyed it. All right, have a great morning into your afternoon, and we'll see you back here this evening at the Patriot Hour.